football is a crazy sport. It is absolutely ridiculous. In 1 week, Balotelli has scored. QPR have won away. We've got our first penalty of the season. And Herrera's actually played some minutes. I mean, albeit because of an injury, but still, Herrera played. It's absolutely ridiculous. But in all seriousness, all right, that again was horrific. All right, Burnley dominated us for the first half, and I'm talking domination, honestly. And somehow we went in 2-1 up. But yeah, we had 3 shots. Burnley had 10. It was absolutely ridiculous. This just proves, all right, 2 things. All right. Falcao and Van Persie do not work as a partnership. It really doesn't. 3 things, in fact. Rooney as a centre mid is just wasted, all right? His passing range is great, but he can't do short tiki-taka passes, all right? He can do really long balls through to the strikers or switch the play, etc., but he's not good at tiki-taka stuff, all right? And also, Evans shouldn't even be a championship defender, let alone a Premiership defender for Manchester United. It is absolutely ridiculous. The amount of passes he gave away, the amount of piss-poor marking he did for corners, like the clearances. I mean, there was one in the first half, maybe Match of the Day will show you. He hoofs it up inside the 6-yard box, goes like 40 yards in the air and literally drops exactly where he kicked it. Pathetic. Couldn't clear, couldn't intercept, was under pressure even when there was no pressure. There was no defender anywhere near and he'd head it out for a throw. Absolutely ridiculous. It just proves that Marcus Rojo and Phil Jones work as a partnership. They're much better than what we've got at the minute. Rojo unfortunately had to play as a left back, which he did all right because obviously Luke Shaw was ineligible. We had to start Evans and Jones. And on the right, we had Paddy McNair, who didn't really have too much to do, and he was all right. But yeah, Evans was by far our worst defender. And yeah, Ings should have scored so many more. So should have Barnes, etc. It was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, Jones goes off. Actually, wait, the first thing that happened was the goal. Smalling, of all people, all right, I think it's a corner. It's floated in. Falcao gets a deflected header. It drops to Smalling. First touch after coming on for Jones, who's injured again. Just proves, another thing it proves, he can't play 2 games in a week. It is absolutely ridiculous. He played 3 days ago, now he plays injured. Typical. But anyway, Smalling's first touch about 20 seconds after coming on, goal, 1-0. From then on, I was like, yes, we're gonna batter them, all right? We're really gonna go for it. No. Burnley, credit to them, absolutely impeccable in their formation, their structure. It was unbelievable. And yeah, didn't let the heads go down. Took them, I think, 10-15 minutes. A ridiculous ball in. Pinpoint for Ings to head in. No one marking them, no one tracking them, no one doing whatever the hell they're supposed to in defence. And yeah, David De Gea again in the first half made so many saves against Ings, Barnes, other Burnley players. Is absolutely ridiculous. 10 shots, as I say. But just before half-time, honestly, I think it's a throw, and eventually it comes out. I think Januzaj passes it back to Di Maria, and Di Maria with a wonderful ball in. This was one of Di Maria's best performances in a Manchester United shirt. Absolutely crazy. The only attacker that looked like doing anything, and a pinpoint accurate ball, and Smalling's there again to head it in. 2 goals for Chris Smalling in 38 minutes. Mario Balotelli, 1 goal in how many starts? 16 for Liverpool. Ridiculous. I just couldn't believe it. It just shows how bad our strikers have been. Like, in terms of it, to be honest, I think, in fairness to the strikers, it's the balance of the team that is wrong. All right? We've got far too many attackers on the pitch. I mean, at one point, when Daley Blind went off injured, I forgot about that, so we had to bring on Ander Herrera. We had Ander Herrera, who the fans have been calling for ages, but he's no CDM. Credit to him, though, he did all right, but Rooney was pushed to CDM. At one point, we had Ander Herrera on. We had Rooney on, Januzaj, Di Maria, Falcao, Van Persie. I mean, that's 6 or 7 attackers right there. It's crazy, all right? And yeah, anyway, we go in with a ridiculously lucky 2-1. We're up 2-1 at half-time. And then, after the second half, another ridiculous error. I think it's Evans and Herrera have a miscommunication. Evans can't clear it. Comes out to Ings. 5 yards out, David De Gea spreads his body. Fair enough, it's kind of straight at him, but he still had to look big. It hit him on the shoulder, I think, or whatever, and he saved it. Absolutely ridiculous performance from David De Gea again. So this means that 20 games we have went without conceding more than 1 goal. It is unbelievable, all right? Then later on, we start creating more chances. Ings looks as though he's got a slight hamstring injury, so, you know, I bet Evans was relieved in particular. Smalling looked pretty decent in the defence. But anyway, we get another opportunity. It's Di Maria again, dribbling through. Unbelievable. Dribbles into the box. And it looks as though he's clipped, but he stays on his feet and then gets clipped again slightly. And yeah, no penalty given. Whatever, fair enough. And then, yeah, Di Maria again with great balls in, but no one can get on them. It's ridiculous. And then eventually, the ball's played in to Di Maria. Herrera finds Di Maria in so much space. He cuts inside, and he gets completely taken out. Our first penalty of the season. I think the only other team not to have a penalty this season is Aston Villa, who have just sacked Paul Lambert. But anyway, we get the penalty. Robin van Persie steps up. By the way, just before this, Falcao, who had his worst game again, like 2 bad games. It just doesn't seem to be working. And I, for one, am gutted, all right? I really do like Radamel Falcao. And, you know, he's just not the same as what he was prior to his injury. Maybe if we give him a chance up top by himself or up with Rooney playing just off him, it might work. But let's face it, I don't think Louis van Gaal's ever dropped RVP when he hasn't been injured or not fully fit. But anyway, Falcao comes off for Wilson, and as I say, we get the penalty. Robin van Persie dispatches it. Wonderful penalty. It's kind of, I would say Shola Amiobi-esque. If any of you have seen him take a penalty, it literally goes into the side net. No, right, it's only a penalty, but still, it's got to be dispatched. And after that, we have a couple more chances. Di Maria gets a nice shot off, but it's saved. Comes out Januzaj, blocked on the line. And, you know, that's it. We win 3-1, all right. Very, very shit performance. But again, we get the result, and we are now 3rd, all right. We're leading the pack for the top 4. City, unfortunately, did win 4-1 against Stoke, so we're still 5 points behind them. Chelsea won 1-0, so they're still 7 points ahead of them. So we just really need to focus on the teams below us, because Spurs have dropped points this week, but Liverpool gained points, obviously, playing them. Southampton dropped points at West Ham, but again, West Ham gained them, and they're in 8th, so it's crazy. We just need to make sure we keep getting these performances. Next game is Preston in the FA Cup. Hopefully we can get a nice solid performance there, get into the quarterfinals, and then after that we've got Swansea, which is a must win. I think that one's away. Yeah, it is, because that was the first game of the season, and obviously we lost at Old Trafford, and we've only had one other loss since then at Old Trafford this season. So anyway, must win game against Swansea to keep the pressure on the rest of the top 4 contenders. But for once, fairly happy, even with a dismal performance, but we're 3rd. What more can we ask?